our mailbag question of the day has absolutely nothing to do with Matvey Michkov. Let's close it out with the mailbag question of the day, and it's from our friend south of Kevin. It's from a couple of days ago. He said, or it's from yesterday. There we go. 32 Thoughts is speculating a Kotkaniemi buyout. Potential center depth for the Flyers, possible discussion for the next pod. And yeah, Jesperi Kotkaniemi at only 24, the Hurricanes signed him to that big contract a couple of years ago, has not quite lived up to it. Yeah. And because he's only 24, the buyout is, I think it's only 1/3 of the money instead of 2/3 of the money over twice the years.
Yep.
So it's like not nearly as crazy as like a PLD buyout, because the day the season ends, it's like the season could very well end on PLD's birthday and he'll be turning the age. Right. So like if it goes 5, they might be able to buy him out, and if it goes 7, they can't, because it's just like too restrictive.
Gotta love hockey.
Kotkaniemi at only 24, like it's going to cost the Canes nothing, and they have a lot of their own business to take care of with players who have lived up to expectations for them.
Teravainen, Pesci, Brady Shea. Yeah, they have some guys they need to re-sign.
Maybe Natchez needs a RFA deal or something.
Natchez needs an RFA deal, and he's been rumored to be in the possibility that he could be traded this summer.
So there's a good chance Jesperi Kotkaniemi is bought out. The Flyers need centers.
I don't know if there's a good chance. I mean, it's
on the table.
I've been away from the hockey world for about a week and a half. I don't know how legit this is. If it was on 32 Thoughts, at least it's being discussed.
It's on the table, and it's just one of those, you have to connect some dots. They need money. This is a way that they save like $20 million if they buy him out.
Right.
It could make a ton of sense for them.
Could.
If they were to, do you think Kotkaniemi as a maybe sort of Ryan Poehling signing, hey, let's give it a chance. Let's give him a 1-year kind of prove it deal, see if he can get back to what he was. Do you think it makes sense for the Flyers as a reclamation project?
Well, I mean, my first instinct is, I would be interested. I don't think he would get a Ryan Poehling contract. He would get more than that. Poehling was, he was a former first-round pick.
More situational, I mean.
Kotkaniemi is a former top 5 pick.
Yeah, it was like 3rd, I think.
And also is coming off a much larger contract. Yeah. He presumably is viewed to have higher offensive upside around the league. The thing with Kotkaniemi is
40 points a couple years ago.
Yeah, he's just not developing as quickly as I think people thought. He had the 40-point year. He regressed this season, down to, I believe, around 30.
I think it was like 25, 28.
Yeah, I'm looking at 27 points in 79 games. So to me, if I'm the Flyers, he's exactly the type of guy I'm looking at. I don't know if I see, 1C upside in him, but the Flyers desperately need center depth.
They have not.
They really don't have much. He's exactly the kind of guy, if I'm the Flyers, I'm poking around. And I'm saying, you know what? Hey, our pitch is that, look at what we did with Poehling last year. John Tortorella has done a good job over the last couple of years of turning guys' careers around. No, seriously. Ristolainen, guys like that. And Kotkaniemi's still young. So, if I'm the Flyers, he's absolutely somebody I call on. I mentioned this before I went away on vacation about how we talked about free agency, and I said, look, there's a possibility that the free agents that I will be most interested in aren't even on the board right now. Because I pointed out how, and you saw it during this round, I didn't watch it because I wasn't watching any of the games, but one Matt Duchene, maybe the best free agent signing of last summer, wasn't even known to be a free agent until like 2 days before July 1st because he was a surprise buyout. If somebody like Kotkaniemi is bought out, Flyers certainly could use another center, especially if they're now viewing somebody like Noah Cates more like a wing. We don't know what's going to happen with Scott Lawton. They could certainly use another NHL-ready young center. If you can get somebody like that with upside for nothing more than a 1 or 2 year contract, I think it makes all the sense in the world, but obviously we have to see if it gets bought out in the first place.
Yeah, obviously things have to happen to make it a possibility. If it was like, hey, we're trying to trade Kotkaniemi, it's like, no, I don't want him at that price.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But if he were to be bought out or there's some retention or something, maybe he's a possibility for the Flyers as a reclamation project.
I think he makes a lot of sense for where the Flyers stand, regardless of whether Michkov comes over next year or not. They are still rebuilding.
No, this is just a position of need.
Yeah,
they just need a guy who can play center. Yeah. Their best center was benched for the final 30 minutes of game 82.
Yeah. I mean,
they don't have any centers.
I look at Kotkaniemi as a guy who his upside, and again, the fact that he hasn't reached it yet cuts down on the likelihood that he will ever get there. But his upside to me is something like a 60-point-a-year two-way center who drives play. And the Flyers could certainly use one of those in their middle six.
Could always use one of those.
Yeah.
We all silly like the mayor.